grew up in a very working class home. They didn't have much money. It was a very, very down to earth, but very loving family environment. And then by the age of 3, my granddad died. That was my mum's dad. As within the first year, we went to Richmond Cemetery, which is near London, where I grew up and where he was buried. And we were there at the graveside. Now, I didn't have any maturity at that age to worry about my nan's grief or how my mum was feeling. We just, as far as I was concerned, we'd gone out. We were walking through the cemetery. They were cleaning up his plot. And I was playing with a vase, some stones, and some water. And as I was playing, I felt my granddad just, his whole presence come over me like a blanket of love. I recognized him. I knew straight away it was him, but I didn't see him. I felt him and I heard him saying, "Claire, tell Nanny Granddad says I love you, Ive." So I was going, "No, I'm not doing that," because I was playing. I didn't have the emotional maturity to even think, "Hang on a minute, my granddad's died." There just was none of that was there. It just, I was in the now. So I'm playing and I'm ignoring the inspiration, I suppose, but it felt more like a compulsion to stand up. And then I could hear my granddad saying, "Claire, please tell Nanny, Granddad says I love you, Ive." So in the end, I stood up. I could see my nan and my mum at the gate. They were nearly ready to go. And I'm shouting, "Nanny, Granddad says I love you, Ive." And I was quite cross. And I remember it so clearly because I remember my nan's mouth dropped. My mum was just looking, like, what? Because everybody called my nan Connie because she didn't like the name Ivy. Obviously, my mum called her mum. I called her nanny. The only person in the world that was allowed to call my nanny Ive or Ivy was my granddad.
That's
So
sweet.
it's very sweet. And he had crossed back to spirit when he was 57. She didn't go back home, as I call it, until she was 92. So she lived a long time without him. And that message kept her in the know that he was there because she said to me, "Out of the mouth of babes." So I had no, a lot of the argument on the skeptic side is that we're deluding ourselves, that we need to feel the comfort, that it makes us feel better to believe in an afterlife, all of that. And I'm not saying that some of that isn't even true, even, but at the age of nearly 4, I had no awareness or emotional maturity to be worried about any of that. So even I'm very skeptical, very analytical. I've had to go very much down the scientific route in order to feel comfortable, even in what was happening to me. But even with all the knowledge and all the scientists I've met, the thing that really keeps it true for me is when I go back to that moment, because I know that there was no other nothing going on except for pure exchange of love and eternal consciousness.
I bet it made a difference for your family as well.